facts.
Good afternoon, Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
The news comes at you fast.
America's Food and Drug Administration have said that Trump was incorrect.
There's information and misinformation.
Their own NAFDAC came out and told Donald Trump, "We're gonna be waiting me where you talk. Now you talk and with by yourself. We tell you it's okay."
And making sense of it can be hard.
Kayode, I will let you talk. Kayode, I will let you talk if you let me talk. Kayode.
But that's my job. Let's talk context. Let's talk statistics.
Talk about those bills at the Senate right now.
Let's talk to the experts and the newsmakers.
I see the kind of stability that would allow growth to happen by this time next year.
Every weekday at 3.
Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
Let's talk hard facts.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three.
On Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. NCDC confirmed 624 new COVID-19 cases nationwide yesterday. So we're now at 41,804 confirmed cases total. Now, remember what the Presidential Task Force told us. For every one positive test, there are 5 more people with the virus who have not been tested. So you gotta do what you gotta do and remain careful, okay? I've got a great show for all 630,000 of you. I'll start with the Big Three, where we'll talk about the state government making businesses pay 250,000 naira each for delivery bikes that they own. Then let's talk about the Eti-Osa LCDA demolishing shops at Sangotedo Market this weekend. And then we're going to talk about the House of Reps saying that our loan agreements with China allow them to seize our sovereign assets. Now, remember, you can talk to us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. We're streaming this conversation live on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. Also on YouTube, we are Nigeria Info FM. Now, today is Wednesday, so we're bringing you the glass ceiling. And on the glass ceiling, we're going to talk about the plight of widows in our society. Yes, inspired by the conversation we had last week. On today's Big Hard Fact, let's talk about the pension system and how it affects the retirees themselves. We're going to be talking to a retiree from the Lagos State Civil Service about her experience. Now, you're going to get news updates at the top of every hour. You need to listen to every minute of the show so that you can catch just a minute and win 10,000 naira after the news at 6. We'll bring you a new program, Let's Talk, from Voice of America. But right now, we're going to bring to you the Big Three. I am Sandra Ezekwesili.
This is the Big Three.
The Big Three.
On Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Should the state government be charging delivery bikes 500,000 naira to register? Who should compensate Sangotedo Market traders? And has the federal government been compromised? As far as our national sovereignty is concerned, have they compromised national sovereignty while borrowing from China? Those are your Big Three. Let's talk. Our first story is about logistics operators protesting harassment, this time by the state government. Yesterday and on Monday, we talked about NIPOST wanting to increase their license fees. But here in Lagos, the operators that the state and local governments are working with are also complaining that the state and local government at multiple levels are offering them multiple levies, and they're seizing their bikes. One of their unions has called a 3-day warning strike over the problem. And they're even supposed to be meeting with Akin Alabi today. He's a member of the House of Reps. And he's saying that he wants to try to intervene in the matter. But it's not only logistics operators that are being targeted, right? It turns out that any business that uses its own bikes to deliver its products is being made to pay the same levies. In fact, there's a woman who owns a business. She made a video to bring attention to this situation. If you're watching us online right now, we're going to play you the clip that she shared on Instagram. Now, for people who cannot watch on Facebook or YouTube at the moment, here's the audio of what she had to say.
Okay, so I know this video may not go anywhere or may be considered as one of those rant videos, but I just have to speak up. So I'm at the hospital today. My manager calls me that we cannot make any deliveries and we cannot do pickups. So surprised, I was like, what's the problem? And he says that they are holding dispatch riders. They are arresting dispatch riders and dispatch bikes. So now we need to register with 250,000 naira per bike, and before we can operate, before we can do deliveries or anything like that. And I'm wondering, why is Nigerian government so bent on making small businesses suffer? Like, how can you ask us to pay a whooping 250,000 naira per bike? I have 2 delivery bikes. That would be 500,000 naira. Where would this money come from? How much is the profit on these goods? Today now, Third Mainland Bridge has been closed. Deliveries are very difficult to get out. We can't even do pickup. And then you say small business owners should come and pay 250,000 naira per bike to get a particular license or registration. Why are they bent?
What's your time on Hard Facts?
Thank you. Thank you.
What line of business are you in, Tessie?
Okay, I'm into fashion. I sell factory price products, bags, shoes, dresses, and human hair. So basically beauty and fashion.
You have 2 bikes you mentioned for your deliveries. Why did you end up needing to buy bikes for your businesses? I mean, bikes are an expensive investment, right? So for you as a business owner to decide to spend that money to buy them, there must have been a very strong pain point for you, right?
Yes. Okay, as our customer base grew, we realized that outsourcing deliveries from other delivery companies were not helping. So they charge us as high as 1,015. And then in a case where the package is more than one, so from 5 packages upwards, they charge us 1,000 naira per package. So I felt like in a week we can pay as much as 100,000 to 150,000 on deliveries alone, because I have a vast customer base. I deal more with wholesalers. So when I realized how much we were spending on deliveries alone, I figured, okay, instead of me spending so much money on other delivery companies, why don't I get my own bike and employ my own delivery bikemen, and then they will do the deliveries. It will also help us save. It will also save us the stress of having to call delivery companies about delayed delivery and delayed pickups and all of those kind of things. So we're running on one bike, but we're still outsourcing delivery companies, especially when we're on sales. We have over 700 orders to deliver in 3-5 days. So we still have to source about 5 to 6 delivery companies. So I thought, okay, if this is the case, as the business is growing, the customer base is growing, the orders are increasing, I might as well get another delivery bike to add to what we have so that the outsourcing can reduce. So if we have to do deliveries, instead of outsourcing 2, 3, 4, 5 delivery companies, we can just outsource one. Because there are 2 bikes that we, at least in 1 week, we should have cleared all pending deliveries. So basically, that was what informed. And then, some of these delivery companies, they have other customers.
That's right.
So before they come to pick up your package, they take time, and your clients are calling to know when they'll get their delivery, and you have to get back at the delivery. But having our own bike, I know what's going on in-house. I can speak to my manager, to speak to my delivery bike man, or I can call them myself to know what's going on. It's easy, yeah.
Now, when you first bought your bikes for deliveries, did any government agency tell you that you needed to register them or get a permit for them? Have you been approached before now?
No, honestly. I have never been approached before now. As a matter of fact, when we got the bikes and when we registered them, I said, aside these papers you guys have given to us now, is there any other thing we need to add? And then they said there was one new, at that time, there was one new OK paper. Little logistics will understand.
Okay.
There was one OK paper we needed to pay for. And then I asked, okay, what's the requirement for getting the OK paper? They said we needed to do court affidavit to prove that the business and the bike actually belongs to me. I needed to do some other things, which I did, and I was issued the OK paper. But the painful thing is, they don't tell you about all of these licenses. They just come and then start telling you have to bring this paper, you have to bring that paper. Most times you're not even aware until your rider is apprehended. And then when you ask what's the problem, what's going on, they will now tell you it's because he doesn't have XYZ paper. So they keep bringing papers upon papers from time to time, licenses upon licenses from time to time that you have to pay for. Most times they range between 10, 5,000, which was not a problem until this one of 250,000 was just a deal breaker.
Now, about this situation where you talked about in the video, right? Which government agency specifically was demanding the 250,000 naira registration? Is this one supposed to be?
Okay, so we're supposed to have all logistics company or all delivery bikes. I won't say logistics company now because I'm not even into logistics. The bikes I use, they are for my own deliveries to deliver my products to my customers. So it's not like I use my bike
for logistics. Yes, it's for your own business.
Exactly. So I'll just say delivery bike. So they said all delivery bikes have to be registered under NIPOS. As late last year, before COVID, the news was going around, amongst us business owners and logistics company owners, that they were going to NIPOS will now start demanding a registration fee. So I contacted some of my colleagues who are into logistics fully, and they said yes, it was true, but it was on hold at the time. Then COVID-19 came, everybody was on lockdown, we didn't work, and then recently they now said they brought out the publication again that all delivery bikes have to be registered under NIPOS. So NIPOS is the one demanding for this registration fee.
I see.
They're the one demanding for this registration fee for the licenses.
So this is not the Lagos state government?
No, it's not. Because from what I've observed lately, it's like the government is not fully in the know of what's going on. It's just that the whole logistics issue is happening more in Lagos because Lagos has more logistics bikes.
Okay.
They have more delivery companies running.
Okay.
And already as it is, without logistics company in Lagos, I don't know how we can survive because Lagos on its own is already difficult. There's traffic, there's a whole lot of things going on. So these delivery bikes, they help to make our lives very easy.
What's the latest on the situation? Have there been any new developments since you made that video?
Yes, there has.
Okay.
There has, yes. NIPOS was asked to put on hold the license charge for now. But my concern is they were asked to put it on hold. They were not asked to scrap it. So our fear is that we may still get an exorbitant charge.
Okay. Now, we've seen that logistics operators are going on strike here to protest what they call government harassment. Now, you are not a logistics operator. Have you spoken to your other colleagues, other business owners who use their own bikes? Are they going through the same thing as yourself? Are there actions that you feel you guys can take? Are there actions you feel are available to you?
Yes. Actually, throughout this week, logistics companies have been on strike. And then we were also reached out to as business owners to adhere as well. Because the charges and the harassment is becoming so much. So throughout this week, they've been protesting. There's been protests, I meant to say. So there's been protests throughout this week. As a matter of fact, this week we didn't do so much deliveries because we have to stand with them on the whole protest issue. So it doesn't look like we're divided. some people are for the protest and some people are against. So if you're in Lagos, if you notice on the streets of Lagos, delivery bikes are very, 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 like really, really few. Really few, because this week we are protesting.
Okay.
Yeah, and there are some videos on social media too, of the logistics companies and delivery bikes, protesting. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Tessie.
Yeah, and then we're signing it. We started a petition. We started signing a petition on change.com. So it's going a long way.
Okay, so we'll keep our eye on this story, and the more we find out, the more we'll share. We'll also keep in touch with you so that if there are developments, you will let us know. Thank you so much, Tessie, for talking to us on the show.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, Lagos. You've heard from Tessie Duro. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think that non-logistics businesses who get their own bikes for their own deliveries should be paying a registration fee to government? Do you think government should leave them alone since they're only doing it because of the lack of infrastructure, which government should have provided in the first place? And what do you think of this amount that they have to pay? 250,000 naira per bike. What do you think about these protests that the logistics companies are doing? The strike that some of them are on. Do you agree with them? 0700-993-993-993 0700-993-993. So she clarified that this is actually not the state government. She's saying that it is NIPOST. But what I'm wondering is how NIPOST was able to set up and be on the ground immediately, right, to seize her bikes that were out there. We've got Alhaji on the line first. Alhaji Usman.
Hello?
Alhaji Usman, thanks for calling me.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
God bless you.
Bless you as well. Will I be getting Ilea Ram?
Well, you should be addressing yours too.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you very much. You see, it's high time we believe this country we're enslaving ourselves. When we are, under the colonial rules, we say we were enslaved. Then we now have what is called independence. I don't know if it's fair that the Nigerians are treating Nigerians like this. If these people, I am not what is called a bike, what do you call those names? I'm a name. I'm not among them. But I can see how much is even a bike. This bike these people are using, how much is sold? Then what concerns about NIPOST come and register the other NIPOST? They have their own personal business. It does not concern NIPOST. And even it's going to be a policy. Is that amount not too much? This money now, they gather this money and pay to NIPOST. At the end of the day, some of these political bigwigs there, they share the money among themselves. Quite last week, they said the government have brought the policy of all tenants in Nigeria should be paying 6% into government accounts. Why are we punishing ourselves like this? The road, nothing is moving in Nigeria. Look at the road, nothing, no light, no nothing. I don't know, ashamed. If this government they don't even know how to run a policy or how to run government, let them even go to Ghana and land. Good afternoon. I'm annoying.
Okay. Sorry about your annoyance. Paul, hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Sandra, you see, there is no policy for eradication of poverty in Nigeria. Our politicians are hell-bent on weakening the citizens. Now, the reason why this outrageous amount of money is being charged is because the federal government, the money they have borrowed, they don't know how to pay it back. So they are trying to create avenues they can use in recovering of money, which they will use maybe for 2023 election, because there is no more, if you read papers yesterday, IMF was cautioning Nigeria about borrowing because we have entered the red book now. And I know that when they want to analyze about the economy of this country, maybe very soon we will enter recession. Naira is 476 this morning, points, some cobbles. So they are trying to use this multiple taxation to recover the money which they have spent, the billions of dollars borrowed, that we have not seen the evidence of it in the life of Nigerians, but it has been spent by private individuals. Those monies must be paid back, and the servicing of it must be on. So they are trying to use these avenues to raise the money. 250,000 per bike is wickedness. Because how can that, what profit will that person make? They are trying to say that they want to make sure that Nigerians work. Okay, from what that woman said now, after the expenses and whatever, will she have what she will take home? She will pay salary. And you are billing her 250,000 per bike for her own private use business. Okay, the example is this. As an entrepreneur now, my private car that I'm using, if I eventually use it to deliver goods, tomorrow, if these people seize the goods inside my car, they will also charge me to go and register the car for logistics, which is my private car. I mean, it's not helping. These politicians should have the fear of God. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul from Egbeda. We've got Shay in Ikeja. Hello, Shay.
Yeah, thank you, Sandra.
Thanks for calling.
Yes. You see, by the day, Nigeria is tilting towards, and the political class is pushing the people. I mean, if you understand what it takes to start a business in a complicated place like Nigeria, they won't be doing this to the people. I mean, look at the rate of unemployment. One of the only 5 areas that will thrive when it comes to business after all those problems that the world is facing is logistics. And because a lot of young people are unemployed, they're trying to start something. Now they are trying to put their eyes into that. To buy a bike will not cost more than 250,000. Why would the federal government, through its agency, want people to pay 250,000 to start a business? Now, because probably quite a number of them are now interested in that sector, why is it that every day we want to continue to drive people into poverty? Nations are supposed to create wealth for its citizens by allowing opportunities for people. Why is it that by the day, it's as if deliberately we want everybody to die in penury? Is it until this country blow up that the politicians and their cronies will wake up? Why do they want people to always be frustrated? At the end of the day, look at the way Lagos is. Traffic everywhere. I'm just driving from First Park. I spent a whole almost 5 hours. Now, if I had the opportunity, I would have just sent a dispatch rider to go deliver what I want to do. But by the day now, it will get expensive. Why do we want people to steal? Why do we want people to fail? Why do we want to push our people to a point where they won't want to do anything? It is frustrating. I know what it takes to do a business. I'm an entrepreneur. I know how difficult it is. People are encouraged to start logistic company, and they are coming with this. Is this what their counterparts are doing to their citizens in UK and in Europe? Something has to be done, and we will not sit down and watch it. Thank you.
Thank you, Shay, for calling. If you just joined the show, hello. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Over the weekend, a young woman who owns a business shared this video on Instagram. If you are watching us on Facebook or YouTube, you're going to be able to see the video she shared. But if you cannot watch, here's what she said.
Okay, so I know this video may not go anywhere. Okay, so I know this video may not go anywhere or maybe, but I just have to speak up. So I'm at the hospital today. My manager calls me that we cannot make any deliveries and we cannot do pickups. So surprised, I was like, what's the problem? And he says that they are holding dispatch riders. They are arresting dispatch riders and dispatch bikes. So now we need to register with 250,000 naira per bike, and before we can operate, before we can do deliveries or anything like that. And I'm wondering, why is Nigerian government so bent on making small businesses suffer? Like, How can you ask us to pay a whooping 250,000 naira per bike? I have 2 delivery bikes. That would be 500,000 naira. Where would this money come from? How much is the profit on these goods? Today now, Third Mainland Bridge has been closed. Deliveries are very difficult to get out. We can't even do pickup. And then you say small business owners should come and pay 250,000 naira per bike to get a particular license or registration. Why are they bent on making businesses difficult for us? What is their contribution to small businesses? What is that? These are businesses who are trying to do to survive, and then you try to frustrate us out of it. Now, I was even thinking, okay, maybe it's just people who have logistics company, only for me to be told that it's for everybody running a business. If you have a business and you have a dispatch bike, you must register, and it's sickening. It's tiring. What kind of thing is this? Lagos State government, please look into it. This is too much. Even if we need to register, why 250,000? Where do we get 250,000 naira per bike for one bike? Someone like me who has 2 bikes, that's 500,000. Where do you guys expect us to get 500,000 naira to register our logistics bike for our businesses to run smoothly? Lagos on its own is already difficult. It's already difficult. So imagine if we don't have logistics, we don't have delivery bikes on the road. How do we make money? How do we survive? How do we get small money to do 1 or 2 things for ourselves? How do we make life easy for our customers? Please, you guys should look into this. It's really not funny. This is so painful. Today, all the deliveries we had to do, we couldn't do. All the pickups we had to do, we couldn't do. I'm not even running a logistics business. The delivery bikes I have, they are for my own personal business, for me to do deliveries to my customers. This is really not funny. It's not funny. Lagos State government, please look into this. Please. Okay, so I know this. Please.
But when we had her on the show a few minutes ago, she clarified that fee was actually from NIPOST. We'll take your thoughts some more. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. It's 3:30.
Stay right here on the Big 3 on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the Big 3.
The Big 3 on Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. You're listening to Hard Facts. On WhatsApp, we've got a ton of messages, so I'm going to try and take a few. We'll start with Twitter first, where Joy Forever says, this system kills innovation. How will more jobs be created? This policy should be looked into. Government will not provide you anything. Just start a small building project LASBCA and all internal generating machines will visit you. Uday Victor says, the kind of taxes people pay in Lagos makes me wonder if Lagos is a different country. I think it's high time for the federal government and the National Assembly to intervene in these extortions going on in Lagos. Lagos is turning into a federation on its own. Johnson Salau says 250k is really on the high side. We've got Dimeji Joseph who says, I no go agree, make my brother homeless, make I no talk, la 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 la. Okay. Nuruddin from Ijede says, it was we, the ordinary bike riders. Now it's dispatch riders' turn. The tyrants just want to make life unbearable for all of us, but no problem, Shah. Nuruddin, thanks for sending your message in. The government does not care. They're used to stealing all the money. They have trained thugs in the acts of violence. If you protest, the government will unleash them on you. Lagos State is in a bondage, physically, financially, and spiritually. We have vampires in government, Richard says. We've got this person who says, Nigerian leaders are the most insensitive in the world, with no shame and purpose. At this present situation, they should bury their heads in shame. George from Ejigbo. All right, George. Oluwaseyi says, Nigerian government are like the devil. They'll give you a cap and collect your head in return. Our government is a specialist in tax collecting, but to give palliative na wahala. God will help Nigeria, Benga says. But if we're being very fair, if we're being balanced about this, the problem with Nigeria's tax is that there are too many and a lot of the tax isn't getting to the government. But are we undertaxed in Nigeria? We actually are undertaxed. Nigeria has one of the cheapest taxes in the world. But we cannot even begin to have that conversation because even that cheap tax safe, the revenue drive is not efficient enough, number one. Number two, a lot of the tax being collected is not going into government coffers. Number three, even the one that does go into government's coffers, they're not using for the things that they should. So it's a multifaceted problem, right? And I honestly feel your pain. Dola from Ogudu says, there's a misunderstanding of this license fee. It is not 250k per bike. Rather, the 250k license is for those who do not have more than 5 bikes. I own a logistics business. I believe the licensing fee is high considering we have to renew it with 100k yearly. All right. We've got somebody else who says, Nigerian youths have to act. All this talk will never do anything. Let's start now. No time. We have to do something. We have nothing to lose. John says, okay. Well, Lagos, let me bring you our second story. Our second story is the demolition at Sangotedo Market. It happened on Saturday. The Eti-Osa LCDA chairman sent contractors protected by armed youths and policemen to demolish some shops in the market. And the shop owners are complaining for a lot of reasons. First of all, their goods were still in the shops. The demolition took place around 7 a.m. and they say that they were not given time or access to remove their goods. The armed youths stopped them from getting close. In fact, the traders claim that the youths took some of their merchandise before continuing the demolition. If you get on our Facebook and our YouTube live stream, you'll actually see a video that was streaming for you at the moment of the demolished shops. The traders are claiming that these young people who had arms took some of the merchandise before they continued the demolition. So needless to say, these traders are upset. And they say that their livelihoods have been ruined. Another reason they're upset is that the demolition is illegal, according to them. In fact, the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development had told the LCDA not to demolish the market until they hold a stakeholders meeting. That meeting was supposed to hold yesterday, Tuesday. But 3 days before the meeting, the LCDA chairman has the shops demolished. And apparently the ministry is so annoyed by this that they had the chief of staff to the LCDA chairman arrested. According to the Punch, he's behind bars right now, the Punch is reporting. So there you have it. Right now, dozens of traders in Sangotedo Market have lost their shops and their goods. And this is not the first time something like this has happened. Last year, I covered so many market demolition stories for you. And they almost always have the same MO. An LGA or LCDA steps in to say that they want to demolish the market and rebuild it to be nicer and more modern. The same thing is what the Eti-Osa chairman said. But the traders always say, we don't trust that when you are done rebuilding, you will let us back in. And so it usually goes to some sort of dialogue or a court order for a pause. But then always during the pause, the government steps in and demolishes anyway. And it's always happening with the goods still in the shops. Think about the millions of naira in goods destroyed. Think about all those traders who just lost their entire stock, their means of livelihood. And remember, for many of them, that merchandise is on credit. They borrowed to buy it or they got it on concession. And they're hustling to make the money to pay back. But now it's all gone. Why does it keep happening? Why have so many local and municipal governments decided that their only option is to demolish markets on top of the heads of the traders? Why have they decided that it's acceptable for the traders' goods to be destroyed? This time around, a government official has been locked up, but that's actually very rare. So maybe this is progress, I don't know. Now, for some people, this story and our first story are two branches of the same tree. Two sons of the same father. The father is government's disregard for small business. To those people, government simply treats small businesses as something that it can tax to death or displace when it wants to. Yesterday, we talked about POS agents being taxed 600 naira a week yesterday by another LCDA. Remember? We talked about the state government suddenly announcing restrictions on Keke and Okada without warning. And when we discussed that story, we talked briefly about the impact on the business owners, the people who owned the bikes and the tricycles. But maybe we didn't talk about it enough, because imagine investing money in these vehicles based on your analysis of how frequently people use them, only for government overnight to cut down that demand by restricting where you can go or banning you completely. Imagine the people who borrowed to buy those vehicles or those doing hire purchase. Just like the Sangotedo traders. They're suddenly without a source of income, but now they have a large debt. 0700 993 993. What debt does government owe small businesses? And are these government actions paying that debt? Actions like these, are they necessary? Or are they making the business environment difficult for the little guy needlessly? Were you one of the traders affected in Sangotedo? Yusuf is in Ikorodu. Hello, Yusuf. Thanks for calling.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Go ahead.
Hello, ma.
Yes, you're on the live show. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, good afternoon, ma.
Good afternoon.
Permit me to start with this, that instruction without construction is destruction. This country is indeed bleeding. This country is crying, ma. To be sincere with you, we are only hearing 5% of what is happening in this country. Ma, if we see what is happening in this country, in fact, we will be ashamed of ourselves as a Nigerian, especially those that claim they're educated. Ma, the developed countries were saved by their headlights. But those that claim they are headlights, once they are safe, and they have forgotten that before they became rich, their parents suffered to send them to school so that they will be educated and they will save this country. Now they are okay and they are doing good. And we have professors monitoring our elections in this country, man. But it's a shame that Mr. controls them with the knowledge they claim they have. Mr. will tell them, if you don't rig this election, then you will be killed. In abroad, man, if you killed Awolowo, another 2 Awolowo will stand. If you kill the 2 Awolowo, 3 Awolowo becomes up. If you kill 4 Awolowo, 10 Awolowo becomes up. But here in Nigeria, I don't care. And the road of I don't care leads to the house of Adainun. So what is happening, ma? A lot is happening in this country, and the government are not concerned because they are okay with their family, and because it's not our own vote that put them in. If sincerely it's our own vote, they will listen to us. Nigeria elections is what they finish in their own parlor, and they will call the INEC chairman that this is what we want. So they know that if we cry and cry and cry and cry, they know how to do it with 4,000 naira. We collect, we did not collect it, they will win the election. So they know that if indeed it is our own vote that brings them in, then they will listen to us. But they will never listen to us. They will listen to their godfathers. For example, I will appreciate it if you can investigate and do a research and tell the whole Lagosians about the budget. How much does Lagos State government receive in a month? I will appreciate it if your station can do it for us. And how much they spend, not just for them to tell us they are doing maintenance on so road, they are constructing this road. Please, if you can tell us how much they are spending on each project, we sincerely will be happy with it. And how much does the local government, chairman, the councillors are receiving in a month, and the senators, because there are a lot of senators that are there, but they are just celebrating because they know that we did not vote, they are there. So it's their own godfather that they will have to return to. So if we can start from there, if we can enlighten the people, because education is the ability of bringing the people from ignorance of darkness to limelight of knowledge. So if our elites have failed to do it, we want you to be the next villager that will stand in this country, and by the grace of God, the Lord will continue to be with you and bless your station in the name of God.
Thank you for calling us, Yusuf. I appreciate it. Delagiwa is dead, Sha. Let me just, put that out there. We've got Immaculate on the line. Immaculate is in Maryland. Hello, Immaculate. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, I want to ask a question based on saying Nigerians don't pay tax as much as other countries.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know if you can help us with some breakdown, maybe not now, maybe later, to compare what Nigerians pay as tax as to other countries. Because from my own analysis, I know Nigerians pay tax, like in my company now, we pay taxes like nothing less than 500,000 naira per month.
Okay.
And we still buy diesels 400,000 naira every month. And we still pay NEPA bills 400 to 500,000 naira every month.
Wow.
You understand? Calculate all that is already more than tax already. And I personally pay tax for myself, and I don't have any benefits for it. So far, I've not used any government hospital. By grace of, even if I do, I would like to use a private hospital where I can get better services. So my tax is null and void. Okay, you want to use the roads now? We pay taxes for using the roads, and then every good that is imported in this country, there is already tax on it. In fact, we still pay again. Even on the road, when we bought buses, we pay money for these agberos that the government can't take care of them. We bear the burden because they have to pay the agberos. And all the monies that they collect it indirectly from us. And I still pay taxes to the government from the same salary that they can't even use to solve any problem for me. I still pay taxes and pay the agberos and pay one settlement or the other. And I don't know how we are paying less tax in this country. Now they import petrol from another country, and taxes is on it again as it's coming in, and we bear the burden. But a neighboring country here, we give them petrol and their prices are lower. So how are we not paying taxes enough? Now every import, for every transaction you make in the account, you pay taxes. Government collects it directly from CBN, right? And then they are still not paying enough taxes. Now, you look at, can we even, let me abbreviate what I'm saying.
Okay.
Can we ask them to put on hold their salaries and allowances and all the provisions, all the money they should use to pay our debts in this country? At least, even if it's 50%, let them clear some debts. Because as they are borrowing, they are going to leave it to another government. So since we are probing and getting monies, and I know if we ask them for it, they won't give us. So let them use it to pay part of our loans before another election. Before the end of this year. And Nigerians, number 2, should start getting ready for how they'll get their PVCs right now, before the election. So you don't have crowds. You should send the government out, and the way come out every street, come out and register for your PVC so that we won't be disadvantaged before the election time. We should start use that as our own side of operation as the people. So we don't keep complaining here and there. Let us get our acts right.
Okay.
And our men should stop calling radio stations and complaining. They should gather themselves and get it right.
Okay.
Yes,
Immaculate, thank you for calling. Now, Immaculate asked me a number of questions, right? I look at all the taxes we're paying, and she does have a point. We're paying all kinds of taxes, right? But a lot of Nigerians are also not in the tax net. Nigeria has a low tax to GDP ratio. So on average, Nigerian taxes are low. Our tax to GDP is 5.7%. Africa's average is 17.2%. So even among other African nations, our tax collection rate is very low. And yes, we're paying a lot of things that they are calling tax. But like I said earlier on when I was talking about this, a lot of that money is not going into government's pocket. Immaculate may be paying a lot of tax, but that is because na she way government catch. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yes, the concerns we're raising, very, very valid. We're paying multiple levies here and there. Some of them not going into government's pocket directly. Some of them we shouldn't even be paying to begin with. We should pay it once and that's it. But even still, we're paying really low taxes. And we can have both conversations on very different days. Today, we're focusing on the fact that in Sangotedo, shops have been knocked down in the market before they could have meetings of the mind about it. And in Lagos, bikes are being seized because the owners of the bikes haven't paid a license fee of 250,000. Now, let me bring you our final story. Innocent, I'm sorry, you're going to have to call us back. But our final story is the House of Reps being worried over China loans compromising our sovereignty. They are worried our China loans are compromising our sovereignty. But the executive is worried that if the reps scrutinize the loans too much, China won't give us the money again. That disagreement is our second story. So one of the House of Reps committees has decided to look into the loan agreements we have with China. As you know, China is lending us billions for infrastructure projects like the railway lines, like telecoms lines. And these loans are usually negotiated by the executive under the presidency with the Ministry of Finance and the relevant ministries for the project. But the legislature has the power of oversight. They have the power to look at whatever agreements the president and the executive have made and say it makes sense or make sense. So now they're inspecting the China loan agreements and they are blowing an alarm already. According to Honorable Nicholas Osai, the chairman of the House Committee investigating these loans, the language in the agreements will remove Nigeria's rights to protect sovereign assets if we cannot pay back the loan. In particular, one of the loans has this specific language, quote, "The borrower, Nigeria, hereby irrevocably waives any immunity on the grounds of sovereign or otherwise for itself or its property in connection with any arbitration proceeding pursuant to Article 8, subsection 5 thereof, with the enforcement of any arbitral award pursuant thereto, except for the military assets and diplomatic assets," end quote. So a lot of grammar, let me break it down. What that means is that if there's a quarrel over repayment and China drags Nigeria to arbitration and China wins, China can seize any Nigerian property as long as it is not a military asset or a diplomatic asset. What that means is that China will not be able to seize the Nigerian embassy in Beijing or a Nigerian fighter jet, but they can seize tankers full of Nigerian oil on the ocean. They can seize any Nigerian money in Chinese banks. They can take direct control of the railways that they build, for example. We've seen the Chinese take control of a port in Sri Lanka that they built when the government there couldn't pay. And of course, we've also seen the recent case of PNID versus Nigeria, where they won an arbitration case against us and they're trying to collect their money. So we cannot simply say, this thing, if it happen. So the House of Reps is concerned about the language and they want the executive to answer. Specifically, they asked Rotimi Amechi, the Minister for Transport. Remember, a lot of this loan money is going to railway under his ministry. And you know what Amechi said to the House of Reps? He said they should stop probing these loans because if they keep asking these questions, they may scare away the Chinese and they won't lend us the money again. What do you think about that? What do you think about the House of Reps' concern? What do you think about Amechi's concern, about their concern? What do you think about Amechi saying that if the reps keep probing the loan agreements, the Chinese may withdraw them? And what do you think about the loan agreements, giving China the right to seize Nigerian sovereign assets, except for military and diplomatic assets? I've got Sina on the line here. Hello, Sina. Thanks for calling us.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Sina.
President Sandra. Good afternoon, President Sandra.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good. President Sandra, well, you just say I am in the same category with the lady who you said that now we government fits the cash collect tax. It's not funny for us though. But we spend so long an hour in traffic, pay bills, do everything by ourselves. So you now keep wondering what these taxes are being used for. The people in the market, Sangotedo Market, it's really unfortunate. We keep asking for these things. We keep saying, oh, let's not talk, let's do something. Shebi, this man was his call for just protest, peaceful protest. How many people came out? We want fresh air. We can't open our windows. Is it possible? So I think what we need to do, we have no choice than just to continue. Shebi, China wants to collect. We could follow China now. Let them just collect us, join everything. So that those of us going to China won't be going to China. We're already in China. Let them just take over Nigeria. Let us just sit down and be talking. No problem. So that's my submission, President Sandra.
All right, Sina. Thank you so much for calling me. Let's all sit down and be talking, he said. Hello.
Hello. Sandra,
how are you? Good afternoon. Turn your radio off. What's your name?
Yes. My name is Uche, calling from Lekki.
Thanks for calling, Uche.
Sandra, I just want to thank you guys, all your colleagues, what the work you are doing in the studio. The Lord will continue to give you the strength to do more. You see, one of the callers just said what is in my mind. What is happening in this country, every day we hear a series of negative thoughts, negative story. And we are not trying to do what we're supposed to do. It's because when the time of election, even though if we come out in mass, we stand under the sun and do the voting, at the end of the day, just like one of the callers said, they will sit in their parlor and, say, my brother, don't mind them. Because as I speak to you now, even the person that will be the governor of this state in 2025 has been written down. So what are we talking about? You see, the thing is that this thing that was done in Sangotedo is that our people has the mind, like it is paining me in the mind now. Once 2 or 3 people go down, other people will learn lessons. I'm telling you the truth. Those people that come for that demolition, once 2 or 3 people go down, stop breathing completely. I think there will be something to be. Look at the Lagos State. Okay, just if you ask person in Ojo local government, I know how much container pay, 40 feet pay, 20 feet pay every day. But go to Ojo local government, a lot of places there is nothing to write home about. A lot of things are happening. Only money they generate from importation in Ojo local government is enough to build all the roads in that area. But everything, it just seems nothing. You understand? So a lot of things have been going on in this. Look, Pharaoh. We have Pharaoh in federal level, Pharaoh in local government level, Pharaoh in state level. Pharaoh has taken control over this country, and that's what. Look, the Bible says when the righteous one are on seat, people rejoice. And you can see that people are not rejoicing because the evil men, the pharaohs, are on the seat.
Let's leave it at that. Thank you for calling. Unfortunately, I'll have to apologize for what he said about people dropping and not breathing. I'm not an advocate for violence. Violence isn't the way. I think we need to find ways to get these results without people dying, right? Tarila Murphy from Lekki says, Sandra Biko, I want to sleep, but you guys' program won't allow me to sleep afternoon sleep. Una sabi keep people awake. Oh. Okay, well, I'm glad you're awake. Sandra, can you see our people's docile brains? Imagine rotting me with this statement. Anyway, okay, I'm not going to take that comment. In times of difficult challenge, pandemics and natural tragedies, governments in saner climes strive to make an amelioration differences in the lives of their citizenry, and this is the standard expectation of the citizens. I look at these skewed charges of all sorts, and I say that the truth is the economy is artificial, of course. When something is artificial, all that encircles it points to that. Needless to repeat that Nigeria is on a free slope, slipping towards a bottomless pit, and only pretenders can deny that. Such levies do not come with corresponding value. Demolitions in Lagos State occur at odd hours without the owners carried along. At whose detriment does that happen? Enough of these demolitions, and whose script are they always acting? Besides, those that partake in these demolitions are thieves themselves, and they go home with enriched pockets. Why inflict pain on the people at a time like this? Why do you do this thing, Seth? Yeah, they smell. Chukudi Urakba says. All right, Chukudi, thanks for your message. The final message here. Oh, God, we have a lot of messages on WhatsApp. My God. Okay. Afolabi Afolistically from Ikorodu says, we are undertaxed because we lack a good taxation system. All right. Let's calm down. Let's change gear. Let's leave politics and let's talk about the people. So politicians are bad and we want to kill them and we want to stone them and all of that. Don't do that, please. No, don't do that. That's a crime. But yes, they are bad, but the citizens are also bad. The society they come from, also bad. You know why? Because this society continues to deny women certain rights. And we're going to talk about those rights next on Hard Facts. I am Sandra Ezekwesili. Don't go away.
Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili.
But I feel that this is overhyped because of Donald Trump.
You think that white police targeting black men, black women for more than 30 years is overhyped?
Don't use that word target.
There are lots of Nigerians doing amazing things on the world stage.
Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on your number one for talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.